Okay, Robert, we're live.
Thank you. Good evening and a warm welcome to our third plenary today. This session is on youth for building a new civilization, role of entrepreneurship and 3 Zeros Club. Now, we all know that today 16% of the global population is the youth. Now, during this discussion, we want to look at how we can tap into this demographic dividends and look at the role of youth entrepreneurship and 3 Zero Clubs to build new civilization that will be built on an economy based primarily on zero personal profit to solve the problems of the people and the planet. To take us through is our moderator, Shazib M. Khairul Islam, the founder and managing director and YY Ventures, and also the CEO at 3Z Global Center. Shazib, please take it away. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robert. Hello and assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Shazib. As Robert introduced, I am a social business entrepreneur and an Obama scholar. I lead a small group of organizations in Bangladesh and the world that supports young people with training, community spaces, funding, and connectivity. This includes YY Ventures, Impact Hub in Dhaka, and the 3Z Global Center. It's my pleasure to be with you all at the third plenary of the 12th Social Business Day, Youth for Building a New Civilization, Role of Entrepreneurship and 3 Zero Club. The world's population is young. 42% of the global population, which means 4 in 10 people are under the age of 25. And it's exciting for me. And I know this population can really transform the journey that we have ahead. Young people are generally creative, brave, and earliest adopters of new technologies. Therefore, they can take advantage of innovations and entrepreneurship skills to initiate and drive change. And to discuss on this topic, we have 5 wonderful panelists. With many of them, I have the pleasure to work in some capacities. So at the beginning, I would like to name you and your organization. Maybe you can weave, and later on I'll do a proper introduction and start with the proceedings. I'm super happy to welcome Monica Yunus, co-founding director at Sing for Hope, joining us from US. We also have Tatiana Glad, executive director at Impact Hub Network. Thrilled to welcome my friend Alex Wang, Secretary General Youth Center in China. Super happy to have Nur Jahan Begum, trustee at Grameen Trust. And last but not the least, Kiko Kislansky, a social entrepreneur friend joining us today. Ladies and gentlemen, over the next 40 minutes or so, we are going to exchange with our distinguished speakers. Everybody else who's not speaking, I kindly request you to keep your microphone muted so we have uninterrupted discussions. Each speaker gets about 5 minutes time, and my colleagues whom you don't see on the screen, they are going to ring a bell at 4 minutes and 2 bells at 5 minutes. And at the end of these discussions, we are also going to have some time, and everybody who's in the Zoom events, please, if you have any questions, feel free to use the chat functions and right there. So Professor Yunus, thank you so much for organizing this event alongside all our colleagues at Yunus Center and all the partner universities. With your permission, I would like to begin the proceedings of our session, and super happy to welcome our very own soprano Monica Yunus, the co-founder of Sing for Hope, who has performed with the world's leading opera companies, including the Metropolitan Opera and many more. She has been named a 2016 Young Global Leader of the World Economic Forum, honored with the 21st Century Leaders Award, and named one of the top 50 Americans in philanthropy by town and country. Monica, over to you.
Well, hello and good day to everyone on the call and listening. Thank you all for joining us. I'm delighted to be here and tell you a little bit about very quickly, because I know our time is short together, about Sing for Hope and what we've been doing during this pandemic time. I want to focus on our youth programming and the things that we've been doing to activate youth. We were listening earlier to a fellow colleague on a prior panel talk about the challenges of the pandemic. And two of those challenges that we've seen very, very clearly at our work with Sing for Hope is access to internet and access to education and access to things like this wonderful Zoom, which connects us from all over the world, and also just the development of empathy. So what Sing for Hope does is we bring artists of all kinds into community settings. We're probably best known in producing the United States' largest public art project called the Sing for Hope Pianos. Artists designed pianos in parks and public spaces throughout the world. And in fact, we'll be speaking a little bit about our work with Ukrainian refugees in Europe on at another time. But three of the things that we were able to do, we since so many of the students that we work with were virtual and all of our programming was in person, we wanted to develop opportunities for the youth to engage. One of those opportunities was an after-school program at a school in Westchester, New York, which focused on 400 children and making sure that they had access to a creative curriculum, if you will. So we brought after-school programming, and I will show a little short video that just sort of gives you a bird's eye view into what we're dealing with. Many of the children that we work with were not online. They have enormous education gaps as a result of the pandemic. So one of the things that we want to do is to ignite that creativity so that they can take part in things like the 3 Zeros Club going forward, so that they do feel like they are part of community rather than being pushed down by it. So that was one of the programs that we really facilitated during the pandemic and continues today. The second thing that we were able to do is because of a grant, we were fortunate enough to receive a grant from the CDC Foundation, one of 30 organizations across the United States, to receive a grant that allowed for us to use the arts to focus on vaccine confidence. So what did we do with that? Well, we wrote a show, of course, and we brought that to different middle schools across the New York area. And the show that we wrote was called Don't Throw Away Your Shot, and it was inspiring vaccine confidence in youth. That was a large project that's wrapping up right now, as a matter of fact. And then the third thing that I just want to point out, and we will talk about it at a different time, is our work with Ukrainian refugee children. We were able to select a artist partner in Germany who has been able to place a Sing for Hope piano in a hostel, and the children were the artists, and they were painting and talking about what kind of world they want to see and painting that on the piano. This is an opportunity for them to express themselves after a very traumatic situation. So those are sort of three of the things that I just wanted to touch on. And now, if you won't mind playing the very brief video that shows in action some of the things that we did with our school children that we work with on a regular basis. Thank you so much to the team for showing that now.
Well, they say that music is the great unifier. We know that. And during this pandemic, music has brought hope to so many of us.
Here in New York, a nonprofit is doing that in more ways than one. Here's News 4's Rana Novini.
For students, it's a chance to stretch their legs.
The way that our kids have been bounding into class, because a lot of them this is the only time they're getting out.
They're also exercising their creative muscles through music, dance, and theater. The nonprofit Sing for Hope, teaming up with Young at Arts to open a new lab for students in Westchester and the Bronx.
Art changes lives. We know that.
Kat Rodriguez is the instrumental director for Young at Arts. She helped craft the COVID protocols, including temperature checks, air purifiers, masks, and social distancing, at a time when so many of these students are remote learning and many schools are downsizing arts education. It's a chance to do the opposite.
They need to come out, and why not do it in a safe way, like playing African drums or doing a monologue or dancing. Why not?
I love that I can express myself by music instead of talking, and I love the community. The teachers are nice.
Sixth grader Tyler Morgan Walker takes African drum classes taught by Shirazette Tinnen.
I also teach the origin of the drum, why it's important, how it was huge in communication in the African diaspora.
The nonprofit's also providing meaningful work to artists who've struggled during the pandemic. The co-founder of Sing for Hope saying it's an important lesson for the students to be able to pivot and make the arts a priority.
Adapt, be resilient. And if you really look at the arts holistically, that is what they do.
Rana Novini, News 4 New York.
They sound great, and that's going to do it for us.
News 4.
Thank you so much. And I know we're short on time, so I pass it back to you, Shazib.
Thank you so much, Monica Yunus. Like you said in the video, we have to adapt and be resilient and take it forward. So next up, ladies and gentlemen, I'm thrilled to welcome Tatiana Gut, who's the Executive Director at the Impact Hub Network and the co-founder at Impact Hub Amsterdam. Together with a passionate team, she was able to grow Impact Hub Amsterdam into a partner that supports a diverse range of companies in their transition to a sustainable business model. And I, as a member of the Impact Hub Network, and also alongside from the team of Impact Hub Dhaka, we would like to say that, Tatiana, you are wonderful, and we are super happy that you lead our global team. From your experience, could you please tell us how you see the role of entrepreneurship in general in terms of creating a new civilization?
Happy to. And thank you, Shazib. Thank you, Monica, also for that really beautiful sort of bringing us into the space of creativity and arts, which I think are so important. So hello to everybody today from Impact Hub Madrid, where I'm sitting here. So your friends here are saying hello. I think we know that, beyond the climate crisis, all of these complex challenges that, we really can only tackle them through collaboration. And I feel that that's part. I was sitting with this big question, the new civilization is such a big question to answer in a few moments. And to me, I thought, well, the key is really that part of our evolution as a species into a new civilization is learning to be led through collaboration, trust, and courage. And I think this is the big test of our times. Can we work together through the problems that plague us all? Because I think they're bigger than any one of us in any one country. And so all of you listening today, all of you young people who, look at the future, I would say the future is bright because you're already learning how to collaborate at such a young age. And we haven't necessarily in the institutions that we have in place. So welcome. At Impact Hub, we really try and make collaboration happen. It's not always easy, but what we believe is that by putting entrepreneurs at the core and surrounding them with the support systems that they need, they don't have to go at it alone. And so their solutions will stick further. So these are entrepreneurs that we work with that have ideas for a better world, and they come usually feeling quite alone. And through community, we connect them often with each other, to large organizations, to resources, to the public sector and such, so that we can work towards inclusive and sustainable innovation together. Now, we're not a youth organization per se, but youth are a critical partner in this future building. And so, when I asked around, I thought, well, maybe we don't run like too many youth programs specifically, but youth are showing up more and more, seeing entrepreneurship as a legitimate path to creating good livelihoods. Because no longer are the big jobs coming from companies just waiting to hand them out, right? And youth are so creative and have a sense of freedom that I would really encourage all of you to feel that confidence and freedom and know that your ideas are really, really valid in the world. So our core mission is very much based in this belief that entrepreneurs like you who want to make a better world help accelerate that transition to a just and sustainable world. They're not the only ones. Everybody has its role, but that's very much our belief, is the entrepreneurship at the core. And so we're the world's largest network focused on building entrepreneurial communities for impact at scale. We have over 24,000 entrepreneurs that are spread out across 107 locations, including Dhaka, where you are, and maybe where some of you are sitting. And these are often young people who are trying to start and grow impact enterprises, who really want to serve this green and just transition, who might be working climate security, renewable energy, poverty alleviation, and all these topics, and particularly working with an understanding that we need diversity. We need diversity to solve the problems and are not scared of diversity. And they often come together in our spaces in these 107 locations in 64 countries. And we run over 400 programs annually on these areas. So a few of them, and again, every location tends to create programs that respond to their own context. So for example, in some locations, there's a lot of youth capacity building for circular economy. In some places, it's about creating young impact maker groups. So groups of entrepreneurs or young impact makers who want to become entrepreneurs to work together and build their own communities for change. We also have a number of impact hubs that run the Social Impact Award program to work with universities and schools to help young people with ideas be validated for their ideas and receive financial and non-financial support. We have our Impact Hub in Caracas that for the last 5 years has been running a program to promote technological entrepreneurship for girls between 15 and 18 years old. So they learn coding and they're part of the future of developing mobile apps that actually work for a next generation. Our Impact Hub in Cambodia, on the other side of the world, works with universities across Cambodia to embed entrepreneurial education. So of course we work with many networks, and we think like 3.0 is such, when I read the charter, I thought this completely aligns with us. So if any of you are out there in the 3.0 network, I really encourage you to step into entrepreneurship with your great ideas. And I think our biggest learning is this question I'm going to leave you with is it sounds really big and complex, but think about what change are you making just today for a better tomorrow? And you just need to go day by day. And so thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Tatiana, for your kind and nice words, very precise and specific. And I think as I also look at the world of 3.0, this prospect, this fiction that we have that we are going to create one day, to do this, we have to beat all these problems like climate change, unemployment, wealth concentration, conflict, migration, and whatnot. And youth entrepreneurship and connectivity among all these platforms, like programs that you were saying, Tatiana, can really enable and support young people. And 3.0 Club is one such platform. I'm super happy to report to all of you that we have now 285 clubs registered from 23 countries. Over the next couple of days, we are going to have many discussions. And our next speaker has a big role to play here. My great friend, Alex Wang, was the Secretary General of Youth Center in China, one of the leading Chinese youth think tanks, and that has owned the Youth for Asia Award from the Asian Development Bank. And Alex is the first Chinese to be nominated as the board of directors in the United Nations Major Group on Children and Youth for these years in between 2020 till 2022. Alex, welcome to Social Business Day. What's your take on the role of young people in terms of creating a new civilization? And what can youth entrepreneurship and 3.0 clubs in China and in the world do?
Thanks very much, Shazib. Hello, everyone. And just a quick update. I was checking with my colleague in China on 3.0 clubs in China with a great support from Shazib and 3.0 Global Center team. Now I think we have around 15 clubs in China from different parts of China, but definitely I believe there is a potential that we will increase more. And we are also working with Shazib's team on the Chinese language of the 3.0 Club website. So in the future, we're definitely looking forward to having more clubs in China. And I just had some conversation with some club members a few days ago that they get newsletters from the global team, and also they get connected on the website. we also formed them into the Wechat Group, which is a Chinese social media. So every 5 people and they form a group. We have some different Chinese social media groups. So one of their feedbacks is that they get connected. The young people from different parts of China, they get connected because they are interested in some social topics. Someone are caring about the air quality, so they form a group and discuss that how they can create some solutions. So I think it is very, very important for all the countries to launch their own 3.0 club and attract young people in the club. The club experience can be a peer-to-peer learning experience for young people. I think because in China, Youth Center is working with young people to empower everyone here to learn, advocate, take actions on different social topics, so including social business, sustainable development goals. So we were thinking that the topic of 3.0 is very, very important for China, because in China, actually, I mentioned several times, 3.0 are actually quite aligned to 3 national strategies, including the common good for everyone, the youth entrepreneurship program, the carbon neutrality initiative, and also currently we have a rural development program nationally. So in China, everyone knows about these 3.0s, but they explain in Chinese way, but actually it's the same direction. So this 3.0 is also top 3 priorities or top 3 focus in China. And I'm also thinking that we discuss about entrepreneurship in China, actually, for example, one of the 3.0s, zero net carbon emission, is a big investment opportunity in China. It is in the last year, all the VC and PE funds caring about, they are searching about all these startups, all these young entrepreneurs who work on the zero net carbon emission technologies. So it is a super hot topic in China. So I think when we discuss about the role of entrepreneurship and also 3.0 club, we can also see that, at least in China, from the experience in China, we can also see that it is a big investment opportunities for all the investors. So I'm thinking that in the future, maybe that we can have an alliance to attract all these investors on 3.0s. And my last point is that in September, we will also have our UN General Assembly high-level event on social business. We'll also get all these stakeholders and discuss 3.0 club and how everyone can contribute to the world of 3.0. Thanks again, Shazib. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Alex, for joining us today and also for doing all this amazing work. The Chinese version of the platform looks nice. All the other friends, if you are wondering what other language the website is now available in, we have the Portuguese, the French, the Nepalese versions live. And our team is also working on other platforms. If you want to contribute and support the movement, just get in touch with us. Next up, it's an absolute honor for me to welcome Nurjahan Begum, one of the earliest associates of Professor Muhammad Yunus since the beginning of the Grameen Bank journey. She also served as the acting managing director of Grameen Bank and now an advisor to Professor Yunus at Yunus Center and also a trustee at Grameen Trust. Nurjahan Apu, if you could enlighten us with your experience of supporting young entrepreneurs through some of the programs that you have worked on, and also what you think of 3.0 Club and our amazing members. You are muted, Nurjahan. Yes, perfect.
The current civilization is based on profit maximization. You know, all kind of discrimination are leading the world to a situation of collapse. You know, the worldwide, the inflation rate is very high. Millions of people around the world are suffering to cope with the situation. According to the Oxfam, nearly 1 million people could be pushed into extreme poverty in 2022. Again, UNICEF reported 40 million children became homeless because of war, because of conflict, because of many other reasons. So human civilization is in serious crisis. A comprehensive approach to solution humanity facing problems like poverty, inequality, unemployment, everything social business can give the answer. You know, globally, 16% of the global population is youth, who represent one of the most effective groups of combat the global challenge and lead towards the stable future for the humankind. Their active role is ensuring sustainable development efforts is central to achieving sustainable and stable societies. Professor Yunus always says that every human being is born talent. It is our task to help them to discover, to bring their talent and build up the new nation. He already make a social business fund to help this young new entrepreneur with a social business fund to support the unemployed rural youth in Bangladesh through equity capital in partnership arrangement to develop their own business. Thousands of young people, women are coming forward with their own ideas to become self-employed rather than chasing job. In a few years' time, these youth buy back the shares of social business fund and became proud owners of their own business in various sectors. Till date, 80,000 entrepreneurs have taken $9.3 billion to run their business, to expand their business. Professor Yunus created this social business fund to bring them so that they can develop themselves. I can say two examples of Taslima and Shamim. They are both from the Grameen Bank borrowers' child, boys and girls. They came very poor families, and they did not complete their education because of the poverty. So they start to work hard, and they have taken money up to 10,000 taka from their mother's loan from Grameen Bank. They started their work, and later on, these young entrepreneurs started to take equity from social business fund. They only these people not only created their own job, they also created 13 jobs for others. This program is running in Kerala, India, Yemen, and Kosovo. Large scale of promotion of such program can reverse the trend of wealth concentration by turning millions of unemployed youth into entrepreneurs. The Young Entrepreneur Program can become a very powerful tool in changing the society. The nature of sector investment through young people can mold and reshape the economic, social, and technological structure of modern world. The 3-0 Club, we have seen many young people with entrepreneurial and problem-solving mindset trying to solve some of these challenges, but their inspiring action remain unheard and unshared to other young people. So it is essential to create a common platform at local, national, and global level to inspire and lead these people with entrepreneurial spirit of address the most pressing social and environmental issues of our time. The 3-0 Club initiative is a platform through which, by using the idea of technologies of networking, they can take collective action around the world and solve the 3 significant issues: poverty, unemployment, and carbon emission that today's world is facing. Each club is self-formed, self-contained mini club of 5 members with self-chosen tasks to play a role of creating 3-0 world. Each club empowers itself by connecting with others. Such club acquires a large range of common features as they grow. Each club will define its role and form its own circle, focusing on any particular subject, or join any other existing circle to widen the world of friends having a common interest. The idea of 3-0 Club was made a reality by Professor Muhammad Yunus on 28 June 2021 during Social Business Day. Within 1 year, the total of 265 plus 3-0 Club were formed in 23 countries with youth age between 12 to 13. Most of the members focused on environment, climate change, and social business and entrepreneurial education. In Bangladesh, 21% of our population are young. Youth unemployment remains one of the major policy challenges in the country, which has further worse during the COVID-19 pandemic. If we can organize the youth through 3-0 Club and help them discover their own talent, I'm sure they can build a new civilization through 3-0 goals, 3-0, zero poverty, zero unemployment, and zero carbon emission. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Apu, for sharing your valuable words. Those cases of change through Nobin programs were wonderful. And you rightly said why connectivity is so important for creating sustainable, inclusive, and just societies. If we have time, we can come back to this point. But last but not the least, let me invite Kiko Kizlansky, co-founder of Useria and Kazulo. Kiko, you are a writer, a mentor, supporter, speaker, and a corporate coach, and you specialize in life and business. How do you see the role of youth entrepreneurs or entrepreneurship in general for this new civilization? And also, if you can reflect on your experience of working with entrepreneurship on this.
Hello, Shazib. Hello, everyone. Thanks a lot, Shazib, for the introduction. I'm very, very happy to be here. I'm Kiko. I'm speaking from Brazil. And just being with all of you here makes my heart beat faster and makes my hope go higher. You know, I feel a lot of hope when I'm here with all of you. So thanks a lot for your purpose and for being here. Well, Shazib and everyone, you know, my vision is a world in which all human beings are expressing their strengths in the service of the common good. I see a world where every human being lives his purpose to the fullest. And I feel like that's the only way that we can all do this together. You know, we can have this beautiful vision of the 3-0 world, but if we are not everyone just really connected to our soul purposes, we're not going to be able to do that. So I feel like the key to building a new civilization is to encourage everyone to live their purpose. We need to shift from the ego consciousness to the soul consciousness so that we can together build a new world. And the big question that drives our work here in my company in Brazil is, how can your individual purpose can help build a world of 3 zeros? You know, I feel like everyone has a unique gift to share to this amazing and beautiful vision, and we need to activate that in society. So that's what we do here in our company, Kazulo. We are a human evolution company. We work with speaking, seminars, trainings, mentorships, books to ignite, you know, that spark of purpose in everyone's heart. So basically, our job here is to help everyone and every company discover their purpose so that they can be part of this transformation. And we've been doing that with many companies here in Brazil, and we're basically helping them to activate their purpose so they can serve a common good through their businesses. And we've helped over 300 companies here in Brazil. It's about 100,000 people helped through these programs. And, you know, basically, we believe that we cannot build a new civilization in a world, in the world, if we're more focused on having than being. So we really need to activate the true essence of human beings in all economic sectors. And that's what our methodologies do here in Brazil. Our biggest commitment as human beings is to live our purpose, and that's the only thing that only we can do. You know, the universe can do everything for us, but living our purpose and having the courage to express our gifts to serve a common good is the only thing that only we can do as human beings, as individuals. So we believe that purpose is a dimension that is before entrepreneurship. You know, we need to activate our purpose and express it through entrepreneurship. And of course, it's not easy because we have an educational system that is always encouraging us to, you know, do things and have things and not to be ourselves. So I believe that if, as I said before, if every one of us is really committed to look to this vision and look inside of us, what's the strengths, what's the talent that we have that can serve that, then we'll be more, you know, more collaborative and closer to that goal. So thanks a lot for being here. Thanks a lot for meeting you guys, and you can always count on me. Bye.
Thank you so much, Kiko. I also want to thank all the audience who has been engaging. Many of us are thankful to our wonderful speakers. Tatiana, we have friends who wants to know more about your projects. And I can see that Monica, you have shared your social handles so that people can follow and to learn. I feel like over the last 30 minutes or so, I have traveled the world. I'm pretty sure most of my audience also had the same feeling. Before we will close the session in 2 minutes. I want to spend the next 90 seconds asking all my panelists to answer one simple question. We want to find our purpose. We want to be entrepreneurial. We want to use art, spaces, network, youth development, Nobel programs, 3-0 clubs to change the world, to create a new civilization. How do we start? Monica, would you like to start?
Well, I will always use my father's words, because the point is you just start. I think that's part of being an entrepreneur in any way. There's no path, and that's all the scary part, but that's also the thing that is most exciting, particularly at the start, is that you have a wide palette. You know, just like an artist will take a canvas and decide, okay, I'm going to choose blue, but there's nothing here, but I'm going to create an ocean. It's very similar as an entrepreneur, and no matter what you're seeking to do, it's never easy at the start. I think it would be a false kind of a false thing to say that it's easy. It's not easy, but it's exciting. And if you can grab onto what Kiko was saying, that it comes from a place of understanding what you are excited by, then other people around you will be very excited by it too. And if you have something that maybe is not quite right, or maybe it needs to be tweaked, you'll find those people along that journey to kind of help you figure that out. I think what's intimidating to a lot of entrepreneurs, would-be entrepreneurs, is the just getting started. But once you start that journey, you find suddenly there are people around you, there's community around you. I mean, what I love about this conversation is that we're all talking about networks. We're all talking about the people and the organizations and the community that allows for us to find the next step. And again, it's not always easy, but certainly when Camille Zamora and I started Sing for Hope, we had no idea what we were doing. And sometimes we laugh, we still don't. But the point is to get started and to take that first step. And I think that's the most important thing you can do.
Right, thank you so much. Anyone else who wants to share briefly? How do we start?
Yeah, I'd love to. And I mean, I would echo that. And I think you remind me of a story of a couple of years ago, I got together with two really good friends of mine who I'd grown up with. And 15 years ago, we had made a mind map of what we wanted to do when we grew up and what opportunities. And, you know, we had tough decisions like, do we stay here? Do we go here? Do we do this? Do we do not? Like, you know, it seemed like the path was really not clear. And what happened when we reflected, when we found those mind maps and we sat together and we looked at them 15 years later, was we were like, it actually didn't matter what we did. We had held on to our values. We had held on to our purpose and the difference we wanted to make. And we're so proud that we're living lives of integrity. Right? And a life of integrity doesn't mean you have to have a fancy job or a big job title. It's, are you true to your values? And are you keeping company with people who are also true to your values? Because that's how you can expand and have a ripple effect. So exactly what you spoke, Monica, reminded me of that story. And so I can only echo, yeah, stay true to your purpose.
Thanks. Kiko, Nurjahanapa, Alex, 30 seconds each, please.
Yeah, I'll speak real quickly. I just wanted to also say I loved what Monica and Tatiana said. And I think that everything starts with a decision. You know, have you decided yet that you want your life to matter? You know, have you decided yet that you want to build a legacy? Have you decided yet that you're not here just to breathe, but to breathe for a cause? You know, so I think that everything starts with a decision, and that's what we want to activate in our groups here in Brazil. You know, make that decision that your life will matter, that you're not going to be here just breathing and having things and doing things, but actually truly being yourself. Thanks a lot. Hope to talk to you all very soon. Bye.
Thanks, Nurjahanapa. You are muted.
Keiko mentioned that about the decision. I think, yes, decision is very important. At the same time, dream is also very important. If you say yourself, how you involve with the social business, you are going with your friend, maybe university or other, you just heard that there's a session going on. You involve, you came there and just listen, and you have taken the decision. Yes, I can do something. And now you are leading the social business. So decision and the dream, both can go together. And it leads the people, young people especially. You know, Dr. Inu says, if you don't drink, you cannot do anything. But if you dream one and if it is successful, you can see second dream. And Ramin, his story, if you see Dr. Inu's family started in early yoga, he always tell us to give some seeds to our borrowers so that they can see some dream. If one dream can successful, then they can see the second dream. So this is the things that. Thank you.
Thank you. Alex, 30 seconds, please.
Okay, very simple. Read Professor Inu's book and form our 3.0 club and update all this positive change on social media and follow the Social Business Day event. That's it.
All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. We are going to take a picture quickly, and I would also like to echo with all of you. And like Alex said, this is my 9th Social Business Day. You come to one such event, your life changes. Thank you so much. That's all from our plenary. Ready to take a picture now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Over to you, Aziz Bhai.
And I'm covered.